one of the most important things is making sure we have an appropriate space in which to write. If we're trying to write in the spur of the moment, if we're trying to figure things out and crunch it in with our schedules and our timing, it can make it really, really hard to get productive writing done in a timely fashion and to quickly get your book written so that you can move on to the next stage. So what do we do to make sure that we are adequately writing our stories on a consistent basis to actually get them published and out in the world? So this is what we need to talk about today in terms of creating an environment that's conducive to your writing. If you're just jumping in, hello and welcome. I'm multi-time bestselling author K.M. Robinson. I've been published for 5 years and I've published all of these stories. I've got a lot of bestsellers, so I've got a lot of really good advice for this one too. Now, outside of consistency and making sure that you are frequently working on this story, your writing environment is incredibly important to write in a strong capacity. So we need to be looking at what's going on in the world around you. If you're somebody who doesn't do well with distractions, you need to minimize those distractions. Now, frequently I talk about creating your writing space, making sure you have a specific spot in your house to sit down and write every single day, however often it is that you are writing, so that your brain gets trained when you're in that space. That's what you're doing. It's very similar to when we know our meals are coming up. We understand when we're going to eat breakfast. We understand when we're going to eat lunch. We know what happens when we walk into the kitchen and we prepare the food and we sit down at the table. Our body and our minds get ready for that food eating experience. It's the same with your writing. So if you know that you are going to do all of your computer work sitting at your computer at your desk, when you sit down to work at your computer desk, you are going to have your body and mind get into that space. However, if you are doing something like trying to write on your couch where you also sit to watch TV and to play games and to do all these other things, your body's not quite sure which avenue we're taking when we sit down on the couch. So finding one specific location and having that as your writing space is going to be highly, highly helpful to making sure that you're actually doing well with your writing. So pick a small table or get a little desk or create a corner in your house and use that as your writing space. Now, again, if we are somebody who deals with a lot of distractions and you're not so great with other people, you're going to want to figure out a time to write without a lot of people around. And you're going to want to do something to minimize that noise. For some people, that might be putting in your earbuds and listening to music. Now, if you are going to listen to music, you need to listen to music that's actually going to help you as you write and not distract you. For me, I'm somebody who can't write while I listen to music because I'll sit there singing the songs. And I will not do my writing, or I'll type the lyrics into my novel, and that's no good. So I don't write with music on, but some people do. I typically, as I'm writing, I'll sit down at my desk with my computer, and when I do computer work, my brain goes into computer work mode, and it allows me to then create faster, stronger, and better. So once you've created a space, a specific location that is specific to your novel writing, you need to then conform the rest of your environment to it. So again, that could be music. That could be something like if you need certain vibes, you can, light candles. If that's going to be something that helps you, writing by candlelight. Or it could be maybe you're a scent person, so you want the scent of a candle. I'm deathly allergic to those things, so I don't want those, but it might really help you. You may need mood lighting or mood scents or mood whatever. One thing that I do is if I'm writing about a specific location and I need those vibes, I will pull up a live stream on the internet. So, for example, when I was writing my Siren War Saga series, it's my mermaid series, I wanted underwater vibes. So I went and I looked up a live stream under ocean camera, and then in the corner of my screen, I just let it go. And so I was able to watch out of the corner of my eye the currents moving seaweed around and fish swimming in and out, all the oceany things. And oftentimes I was then able to take that worldview and write it into my story. And you can do that for all sorts of things. If you're writing about something that's jungly, so when I'm writing my Rescue from the Neverland Isle, my Peter Pan retelling, I'll put on Spotify and I'll pull up a jungle sounds playlist, and it's just the sounds of the jungle, and I can just listen as I go. It gives me those vibes. It helps build up that environment. So whatever you need to do to get yourself in the right headspace to write is how you should design your environment. So an isolated location that you are only using for your writing is going to make sure that your mind and your body get into that workflow a lot faster. And then having any sounds, any scents, any lighting, any, camera live views that can help you with this is a good thing to implement into your writing. And this may take a little bit of trial and error to see if it's going to be distracting or if it's actually going to help you, but this way you can build up what you're doing. So you're surrounding yourself with the environment that you need to write that specific story. And it can change from story to story. So when I put up that live view of Under the Ocean, that was just for my mermaid books. I don't have that for my other stories, and for the vast majority of the stories that I write, all 18 million of them, we do not have extra things, or I don't have extra things on my screen or in my space. I like to write in the quiet. I like to write when people aren't around. So I'll write when people are sleeping or when people are out or whatever it happens to be. You can design your environment that way too. So start thinking about all of your senses. What environment do you need to create? It needs to be something isolated where you're by yourself and you don't have other people around to distract you. And then you can design the rest aesthetically to be what you need to be. You may need to have water or snacks near you so you don't have to get up and get distracted. You may need different types of lighting. You may need it to be darker or brighter. You may need whatever. Figure that out for you, design your environment, and then you can write your story from there.